Ladies and gentlemen, Merry Christmas. Welcome back. Feels like you haven't seen me for a little while. It's because I've been very, very busy at work. I'm really, really sorry that I feel like I've let the side down a little bit over the course of the World Cup, but I have been a little bit preoccupied. So I really am sincerely sorry for that. I think I made it into one video throughout the World Cup, maybe two. So James, thank you for steering the ship. I really appreciate it. But your normal, what is the expression? Your normal scheduled programming is being resumed right now. We are back to the Premier League predictions. Guys, I've got my Santa hat on. It's also my birthday. So because it's Christmas, because it's my birthday, and because, you know us, hit the subscribe button. We'd really, really appreciate it. I mean, the algorithm can sometimes give you our videos and stuff, but make sure you get them, turn the bell on, hit that subscribe.
And Jack, I want loads of comments of happy birthday, Jack, in the comment section. So I want to hear it also. Secondly, happy birthday, Jack.
Thank you, James. 28 never looked so good. It felt like a long, long time ago, game week 16, James. It really, really did. Man City, Brentford. I think we remember how that one left, and Arsenal leapfrogging. That felt like a long time ago now. James, you went 5-5. I went 5-5. Couple of results in there again. I think that we were just a bit like, what the hell kind of happened here? I think the Liverpool Southampton one caught us. Bournemouth Everton both caught us out as well. Couple of weird ones. The Man City one was a big one that stuck out to us as well.
I'm pretty sure I had Arsenal drawn the game.
Yes, you did. You had Arsenal 1-1 against Wolves, and I had Arsenal 2-0. So that was a pickup from me. But yeah, weird week, mixed bag of a week. And James, I'm not going to lie to you. After a World Cup, I have no idea what to expect from game week 17.
This could be anything.
One big important point before we get rolling. James and I have been talking about it off and on for a little while. There will be a bonus point if you can get the correct score. The overall record, just before we start as well, I'm all over the place today. My formatting's all wrong. I'm 68 and 81. James, you're 66 and 83. So there's only 2 games in it. And again, guys, a correct result where I get one wrong and a correct score, James is right back level with me. So everything to play for. I had a nice comfortable lead at one point. I don't know what the hell happened to it. James, coming straight back into it. Brentford, West London derby. Feels like every other Premier League game is a London derby, but Brentford against Spurs at Brentford. Who have you got winning that one? What's your score and why?
I feel like you got to take the World Cup into consideration here. Here's a fixture last year that was 0-0. I look at both teams, and I look especially at Tottenham, and I look at certain players and what's happened to them. Richarlison came off a heartbreaking loss with Brazil. You have Perisic coming second for Croatia, Harry Kane in the miss. A few players have had a lot of international time, and that to me is going to take a lot of heavy weight on them coming in straight away to the Tottenham team. So I'm going to say 1-0.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad we're differing straight away. James, I'm giving Brentford this one. I'm giving Brentford this one. I'm going 2-1. I think that there's going to be a lot of Spurs players there whose minds will still be in Qatar. Harry Kane, how is he going to bounce back? Now, knowing Harry Kane, the person he is and the way he likes to operate, and when we've seen him face adversity in the past, I'm sure he's going to come back and be absolutely fine. But I do look at somebody like Christian Romero. I wonder where his head's going to be. He might be dealing with a week and a half hangover from his World Cup win. I don't know. I can't remember for the life of me if Giovanni Lo Celso is even there. I mean, he's going to have been celebrating and been pretty happy with himself. A lot of England players in there dealing with some disappointment, maybe some frustrations. And I think Brentford, realistically speaking, I think they'll, a lot of their players aren't really internationals who would have played in this World Cup, will be fit, firing, ready to go. They'll have had a lot of time to prepare for this game. And James, also on the injury report, Bentancur and Richarlison just kind of, they might be available to play, but they're kind of recovering from little niggling injuries. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm going with the upset there. Brentford 2, Spurs 1. I'm going again here. Crystal Palace are at home against Fulham. James, another London derby, would you believe?
Love to see him.
Just quickly looking at some injuries here real quick, just because I don't want to mess up like I did last time. Everybody seems pretty good. I'm going to go for a draw here. I'm going to go for 1-1. I like what Fulham are, and I think that will continue into the next half of this year. I don't think that we're going to see any less from their key performers that we didn't see at the beginning of the year. And James, Crystal Palace, it's going to be the same old story. Again, I always feel like they're more dangerous than their record and their position in the table will show you that they are. But again, I look at Eze, I look at Wilfried Zaha, I look at all those names that I always bring up as the difference makers who can beat a man and pull something out outside of tactical operation. I think that's available to take. And for Fulham as well, I just think that they are dangerous enough to pose a threat. So for me, 1-1 in that one.
Yeah, for me, I got Crystal Palace winning this one here, Jack. Looking at the fixtures, looking at like the players who went to the World Cup, isn't too many there. A lot of players have been rested. A lot of players are going to be ready to go. But Jack, as you said, I like Crystal Palace. I like what they have up front, and I guess Mitrovic is going to be there depending on how fit he was, because in the World Cup he wasn't, moving to the tune we expected him.
Yeah.
We expected him. But I'm going to say 2-0 Crystal Palace, Jack.
2-0 Crystal Palace. Yeah, and that Serbia team, I think, a lot of my favourite players are on there. I wasn't particularly happy with the lineup. Some of the players on the bench I was scratching my head at too. Moving on, James, sticking with you again, we're going to Merseyside. We're going to the blue side of Merseyside. Everton welcoming Wolverhampton Wanderers, who supposedly, I don't know when this deal will come through. I think it's in January, it was when it will come through. Wolves, who have supposedly, with a loan with an obligation to buy, have signed Mateus Cunha from Atletico Madrid for 40 to 50 million euros. So Wolves making moves in the market, but they're going to Everton. How do you see that one playing out?
Again, when you look at these guys' recent fixtures, well, last time they played, their last 5 games each, they've only managed one win between them, and that was Everton beating Crystal Palace 3-0. Both teams have lost their last 2, and they've lost to John 3 in their the last 3 games, and it's not the most exciting fixture from the point of view of like form coming into it, and even though stylistically it isn't the game that's going to come out and you can go, wow, like I really want to watch this game. 2 very conservative teams, but I just have a feeling that Wolves is going to take this. So Jack, I got 1-0 Wolves.
James, I actually have the reverse score. I've got 1-0 Everton on this one. Again, I just think Wolves are largely toothless at this point. Everton, I know they, I think it's a thigh injury, I think, for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Again, he's back and then he's not back, and it's, he's still getting warmed back. At his best, I think we know how dangerous he can be. And yeah, Wolves, again, I like so many parts of that squad and that side. So many of those players in a part of that Wolverhampton squad I look at could play for top 6 football clubs. I mean, you need to look no further than the likes of, a Ruben Neves or Pedro Neto, these caliber of players who are like decent, good quality football players. But again, toothless. You can play all the nice possession, technical football you want, or even if you have the option to. But then if you can't score a goal, you're not going to do very well. And their position in the table, I think, sums them up very, very nicely. Everton, I feel like they've turned a little bit of a corner, so I'm going to take the narrow 1-0 win for them. James, tricky game for me, this next one. Leicester City, Newcastle United. I'm just going to come out and say that I've got Newcastle winning 2-1. I think that Leicester have seemed to have turned a corner. I don't know how this break will affect them. We'll come up to Arsenal shortly. We'll see how the break's dealt with them. But again, the likes of James Maddison pulling something out. Yuri Tielemans seems to be scoring goals from outside the box every other game week right now. But again, this Newcastle team, I think, is just going to roll and roll and roll. And they might handle the amount of money that they're going to spend and put into this club quite effectively, so that we don't see kind of a real up and down thing. We might just see a slow progression, which is what it feels like we're seeing right now. So yeah, 2-1 to Newcastle in that one. James, what have you got?
I'm gonna reverse the fixture too, Jack. Both teams, like the first thing you look at when it comes to a team like Newcastle right now is how good they've been. Jack, last 5 games, 5 straight wins. They're on fire. No matter what team they come against, they're beating them. And then you look at the other side. We talk about how bad of a season Leicester's had, issues. They need new reinforcements. They need new players coming in. Jack, out of the last 5 games, Jack, they won 4. And like their only loss was a narrow 1-0 win, or down a 1-0 loss to Manchester City. So both teams are coming into some serious form right now. And I just have Leicester winning this game, Jack. I think the fact that we're coming straight after the World Cup, you're not sure how both teams are going to look. I have a bit more belief that Leicester can come up with something in this game. So I'm going to say 2-1 Leicester, Jack.
2-1 Leicester, getting the reverse of me there. James, staying with you, big South Coast rivalry, Southampton versus Brighton. You know, it's heavy down there. You don't want to come down here with everybody drinking their cappuccinos. Southampton at home, Brighton coming to town. Alexis McAllister, I believe is the correct pronunciation there. A World Cup winner coming back to Brighton.
I doubt he's going to play, Jack, the way Argentina's moving. But once again, as we mentioned, Jack, before previously, Southampton's a team that you don't like to pick against because there's so many variables that could happen. They could go against Manchester City and pick up a victory. They're that unpredictable. But I'm going to say, Jack, I think Brighton is going to come up with the victory here. So I'm going to say, Jack, 2-1 to Brighton.
Yeah, James, look, I got the same result, different score. 2-0 for me on that one. Yeah, you said everything that I wanted to say there. Southampton are a very unpredictable football team. You don't really know what you're going to get with those guys there. But I do feel to a certain extent I know what I'm going to get from Brighton. And I think in a game where just point blank, they are just better than Southampton. I think they'll be able to comfortably win this game, and I think realistically they might even be able to shut Southampton out. So 2-0 for me, the clean sheet. Aston Villa welcoming Liverpool to town. Feels a little bit like it's kind of now or never for Liverpool and for Darwin Nunez, and to really show what's going on here. There's going to be a lot of change at Liverpool this coming summer. May even get kick-started in January. I'll share something with everybody. I've brought Darwin Nunez into my fantasy team. I think that he's probably going to start rolling here. I think he's going to be comfortable, a bit more settled and ready to go. And I think that Liverpool might start to go on a little bit of a tear. I'm expecting it to start now. So I'm going 3-0 against Unai Emery's Aston Villa. James, what have you got?
Again, Unai Emery's Aston Villa has been, unpredictable from the point of view they've had. I think they had a poor result in the League Cup, but in the Premier League, Jack, they won back-to-back games against Brighton and like Manchester United. But I have Liverpool winning this game. Why? Because first of all, I don't know what's going to go on with Emi Martinez, Jack. We've seen the antics with him, and I'm not sure he's going to be ready there. And Jack, I look at the majority of the Liverpool team. So you got Alisson. Brazil been knocked out quite a while ago. England have been knocked out quite a while ago. You got players like Mo Salah, Darwin Nunez. They're all ready to go again. I do believe Klopp will mention the fact that he wants emphasis on these players to now start performing.
Is Luis Diaz back as well? I think he is, right?
No.
No?
I feel he's still out injured at this moment.
Yeah, he is. You're right.
He had a setback in his injuries. But Jack, I'm going to say I have Liverpool winning this game 3-1.
3-1. Giving Villa the goal there. James, quite fitting that we start with you on this one. Another London derby. Arsenal, West Ham coming to town. Obviously, I don't need to tell you, Arsenal dealing with a decent amount of injuries, unfortunately, and quite big ones. How do you see this affecting them potentially against West Ham?
Tough. The World Cup came at the wrong time for us. Jack, from the point of view, we're rolling, absolutely rolling, winning all our football games. The game that I even doubt them, we made it look easy, and we won the game. I feel like, let me talk about the elephant in the room. Gabriel Jesus being out is a big loss for us. But the one thing I've noticed about Arsenal in London derbies against West Ham, our record is quite decent, and like the fact that it is at the Emirates, I do see us picking up the victory here. So I'm going to say a 3-1 win to Arsenal, Jack.
Woo. James, 0-0 for me in this one. I think this is going to be two relatively scared football teams coming up against each other and not wanting to lose, which to me is the wrong attitude to go into a game of this nature. Arsenal, even without Gabriel Jesus, should realistically at home be beating West Ham. So for me, I just think, again, this will be a testament to Mikel Arteta's ability to manage his squad and to fire up his squad and still get them rolling. But I think that we know what David Moyes is going to be about. He's going to make them hard to beat, all this kind of stuff. Also, Gianluca Scamacca and Mikel Antonio as well, both kind of suffering with little niggling injuries as well. So I don't know how much that'll impact them, but I can just see kind of an understanding of, look, neither of us are going to lose here. It's going to be 0-0. And that's what I'm shooting for in that one. I may be wrong. Again, I know the safe pick would have been to pick Arsenal to win there for me, but I just have a sneaking suspicion that one might be goalless. Staying with me, Chelsea versus Bournemouth. Chelsea, nearly every single department are just better than Bournemouth. They're at home. I think that, everybody's going to be kind of settled under the life of Graham Potter now. That's kind of hit them now a little bit easier. So to me, I'm just going to go 1-0. Again, I don't expect Chelsea to necessarily blow anybody out, but I just think they're going to have too much for Bournemouth, and I think it will be despite the scoreline, I think it will be a comfortable 1-0 win for Chelsea.
Interestingly, Jack, Bournemouth have won are unbeaten against Chelsea in the last 3 games. So maybe that's something that we can look at there. But Jack, as you mentioned, the quality on one side of the pitch is too strong, and the fact that Chelsea are at home, that kind of pushes me towards Chelsea. So I'm going to say, Jack, 2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea in that one.
I was going to mention Nkunku, but he won't be available to January.
He won't be available just yet, no. And again, that's a game changer when he starts getting involved and getting comfortable. That is a game changer, folks, let me tell you. James, Manchester United welcoming Nottingham Forest. A really great oldie time rivalry there. Who have you got, Manchester United against Nottingham Forest?
Well, Jack, interestingly enough, the last time that they played was in 1999, and we all know what happened that year if you're a Manchester United fan. Jack, the score was 8-1 Manchester United. We see a similar... I think that was a game where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored 4 goals as a substitute or something like...
That's good history, if you're right.
like that. But do I see it being that sort of way, that sort of game? No. I see it being another KG affair. Manchester United are a team that don't tend to give away that much goals. You look at their goal difference, you say, they concede a lot. But when you look at they've had a lot of heavy defeats this year. So the 4-0 to Bournemouth, the 6-0 to the 6-3 to Man City. So you add it up, that's already 10. In the goal column there, but I see this being a boring 1-0 victory for Manchester United against Nottingham Forest.
I'm gonna say a little, not quite the opposite, but I'm gonna go kind of the other way a little bit here, James. I'm going 3-0 Manchester United here. Look, Cristiano Ronaldo has gone. The weight has been lifted, folks. Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, all these kinds of guys, they're going to now be able to just flow and go for it. And again, it's less about on the pitch. Cristiano Ronaldo is still a great football player. For me, it's more just dressing room and what that's going to do for the atmosphere for this football team. And again, I think Erik ten Hag has these players' hearts and minds, and they're ready to go on a bit of a tear here. It's one of my kind of predictions, I think, for after the restart. I think Manchester United and Liverpool are going to really start stringing some stuff together here. So yeah, 3-0, pretty convincing win here for me for Nottingham Forest. final game of the Christmas period here. Leeds United welcoming Manchester City. Erling Haaland's been sat in his living room for a month. He doesn't know what to do with himself. My prediction, James, is that they're going to be right back to where they should be. Again, I do think Leeds will score. I've got Leeds scoring 1, but I do have Man City scoring 4. I think we're going to see I'm not going to use the P word, but I'm going to use the C word, a pretty cheesed off Kevin De Bruyne with how his national team played. Erling Haaland as well. Guy's been bored. Guy needs feeding, and Kevin De Bruyne is ready to feed him. And again, defensively, I think they'll be able to do enough. But James, with this Man City team, I don't look at a defensively stout, great team who can block it. No, Man City's game plan at the moment is trying to control the game and just outscore the opposition. It's pretty simple. Yeah, Pep's not that much of a genius, is he? So yeah, 4-1 for me in this one. Haaland on the score sheet, Man City, but right back to winning ways.
Again, Jack, we've seen Leeds United pull off some amazing displays. I think going to White Hart Lane and losing 4-3 after having like a 3-2 lead with like 20 minutes left. Being Liverpool at Anfield, the 4-3 game against Bournemouth. They've had these sort of crazy, games in like victories. But do I see them upsetting the Manchester City team? Could you say it's the best time to play them? The fact that a lot of players have been gone away, yes, but a lot of players didn't go away, and the one player that didn't go away was Erling Haaland. You mentioned the fact that Kevin De Bruyne, these guys are ready to get back playing. And Jack, you know who they have as their manager? It's Pep Guardiola. A man who does not accept anything but your absolute 100% best, and I don't see Man City looking complacent today. On Monday or Wednesday,
whatever the hell they play.
Whenever. But just like you, Jack, I have 4-1 Manchester City.
4-1.
It's a game that when you look at recent time, this isn't going to be Marcelo Bielsa game where it's very expansive and like you see Leeds go out Manchester City. No, we're not going to see that sort of game. But I feel like once City get one, Leeds gonna.
I was just about to say, not to drag the video on too much. They can defend as much as they want. That one scrappy, or not even scrappy goal, that one dream ball from Kevin De Bruyne that gets a tap in for Erling Haaland. Leeds have to come out. We know this story. Story as old as time, and then the goals just fly in. James, few differences there. I'm gonna say as well, we have one game where we have the exact same score. So there's definitely some bonus points there if we do get correct scores available for you to catch me up and for me to potentially extend my lead. Guys, it's great to be back with you. It really is. I'm hoping to find a little bit more consistency now, a bit more free time so I can be able to do this with James a little bit more. As usual, comment section. Let's see it. I want to see your predictions for the games. If you are keeping score along with us, let us know on that one as well, because we want to see the proof. The proof is in the pudding. And any edited comments, we know what you've been doing. While you're down there, drop a like on the video as well. And like I said at the beginning, do hit that subscribe button. I know the algorithm can sometimes give you our videos, but it just means that it's there as kind of a safety net for you as well. Hit the bell as well, just in case you want to be notified when James and I are ready. James, it's bittersweet. The World Cup's over. I know you and I both enjoyed it very, very much. But I think the fact that it comes and then it goes, and then, I'm going to be 32 the next time the World Cup comes, right? I know, tell me about it. That's what's special about it. But I've got to tell you, I'm happy club football's back. January transfer window's right around the corner. It's my time to shine.
Oh, football just keeps on giving. We love it, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you. We're going to see you before New Year's, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
But guys, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.